Ethan, how many times do I have to tell you? Dad slammed his fork on the plate. You can't keep living like this. You're 24 and still jobless. I swallowed hard. I'm trying, Dad. I've sent out more applications this week than you could imagine. Mom shifted uneasily in her chair. Robert, maybe he just needs more time. Time? Dad scoffed. Time? I've given him enough time. He's pathetic. I felt my stomach twist. Emily looked down at her plate, silent. My own sister, 8 years younger, seemed afraid of my father's anger more than she cared about my struggles. I started, but Dad cut me off. No, Ethan. You need to leave. Maybe you'll find motivation once you're on your own. What? I blinked, certain I had heard him wrong. Leave? You mean, leave home? After everything I've done to help? You've done nothing. Dad snapped. Your grades were mediocre. Your internships were failures. Your excuses are endless. We're done with this pity act. Mom reached for my hand, but I pulled back. I couldn't let her pity me, it made me feel weaker. Dad, please, I'm trying my best, I said, voice tight. I just need a chance. You've had your chances, Ethan. Pack your things. You're a burden. Maybe living in the real world will teach you something. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. I opened my mouth, but nothing came. My chest ached, a mix of disbelief and betrayal. This was the man who had taught me how to ride a bike, to tie my shoes, to dream bigger than our small town. Now he wanted me gone. Emily finally spoke. Ethan, maybe he's right. I spun to face her. Right? Emily, I'm your brother. You're supposed to stand by me, not side with him. I don't want to get in trouble, she whispered, eyes wide. I felt my hands shake. So that's it? You'd rather be safe than support your own family? Mom sighed, a deep, tired sound. Ethan, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I backed away from the table, my anger rising. Sorry? Sorry doesn't change the fact that you all... I stopped. The words caught in my throat. I wanted to scream, to cry, to throw something, but I couldn't. Dad leaned back, a cold, triumphant smirk on his face. I'm done arguing. Pack your things. Tonight. I felt tears prick at the corners of my eyes. I hated crying in front of them. I hated being weak. I hated that they could betray me so easily. I'll leave, I muttered. Mom's voice trembled. Ethan, maybe we were too harsh. I shook my head. Too harsh? You kicked me out. You humiliated me. You made me feel worthless. That's not harsh, it's betrayal. Emily sniffled, turning her back. I didn't mean to. I know, I said softly, voice cracking. I know you didn't. But it didn't help. Nothing would. Later I packed my bag in silence. My clothes, a few books, my laptop, everything I owned. Dad didn't offer help. Mom didn't stop me. Emily just watched quietly. My room felt smaller than ever, filled with memories that now stung instead of comforted. As I zipped the bag, I whispered to myself, almost like a prayer. I'll show them. I'll make them see. One day they'll regret this. I took a deep breath, standing in the doorway. Dad's eyes met mine, cold, dismissive. Mom's were sad, uncertain. Emily's, fearful. I clenched my fist. I didn't look back as I stepped outside. The night air hit me, cold and raw, but it felt alive. For the first time in months, I felt something stir inside me. Anger, yes, but also determination. I walked down the driveway, dragging my bag, feeling the weight of both my possessions and my heartbreak. But beneath it all, a spark burned. They thought they had defeated me. They thought they could break me. They were wrong. I would rise. I would survive. And one day I would return, not as their struggling son, but as someone they couldn't ignore. Tonight I left not just the house. I left the boy I used to be behind. The first night on the streets was colder than I imagined. I hugged my thin jacket, shivering, and muttered, "Why did this have to happen?" A voice startled me. "New kid." I looked up to see a man leaning against a lamppost, cigarette glowing in the dark. Yeah, I guess." He smirked. "Yeah, I can tell. You don't belong here, do you?" No. I mean, I'm trying to figure things out," I admitted, ashamed. He laughed, low and rough. "Trying? Kid, life doesn't wait for you to figure it out. It'll eat you alive if you're soft." I swallowed. "I can handle it. I have to." "You have to," he echoed, shaking his head. "Or you'll freeze tonight and tomorrow too. Name's Marcus. You need a plan if you're gonna survive here." I nodded, feeling the sting of cold and pride. "Ethan. Ethan Cole." "Ethan, huh?" He eyed me up and down. "You're scared. Hungry. You've got potential though. Don't waste it." I laughed bitterly. Potential? My family kicked me out. I got nothing. I'm already a failure. Failure? Marcus raised an eyebrow. Kid, failure's only permanent if you give up. You think life cares about your feelings? I don't know. I thought they would help me. I thought my parents, my sister, my voice cracked. Family's nice and all until they ain't. You learn quick that people disappoint. You can cry about it or you can fight. I looked away, hugging myself tighter. I don't know how to fight. I've never needed to. Then you better learn fast. Marcus crouched, pointing at a small trash can. See that? Soup. Sometimes people throw away what you need. Scavenge. Hunt. Adapt. You're not gonna starve if you think smarter than the world. I hesitated. Eat from the trash? Yeah. Or freeze. Your choice. I bit my lip, fear and pride warring inside me. Okay. I'll do it. He nodded approvingly. Good. Start tonight. Learn the streets. Learn who's friend, who's threat. Don't trust anyone too fast. You'll get hurt. Like, people who leave me? I whispered. Marcus's eyes softened just a little. Yeah, like people who leave. Pain teaches more than kindness sometimes. I hugged my knees, thinking of Dad's cold stare, Mom's hesitant apology, Emily's frightened eyes. The anger I had at home felt small here, replaced by something larger. Survival. So, how do I even sleep safely? I asked. You find a corner, keep your back to the wall and your eyes open. Nights full of predators. Not everyone wears a coat. I shivered. Predators. Right. You'll adapt. You have to. Or you die. He flicked his cigarette, embers glowing briefly. Ethan, kid, I see fire in you. Don't let them snuff it out. Not your family. Not anyone. You got dreams? You make 'em real. Starting now. I swallowed hard. Dreams? I don't know what's left. Doesn't matter what's left. You're still breathing, aren't you? That's enough to start. I looked at the street around me. Homeless men huddled by dumpsters, a stray dog scavenging, neon lights flickering. Cold, harsh, unwelcoming. But alive. Somehow alive. I'll try, I muttered. You'll do more than try if you've got guts. You think your family's laughing at you now? You'll have the last laugh someday. But first, survive. I nodded, heart hammering. The hunger, the fear, the humiliation, everything I carried from home, felt heavy, but Marcus's words sparked something I hadn't felt in days. Determination. I wrapped myself in my thin jacket, settling into a corner Marcus had pointed out. I can do this, I whispered. I'll survive. I'll rise. And one day, they'll see me. They'll regret leaving me behind. Good words, Marcus said softly from a distance. Say 'em to yourself every day. I closed my eyes, shivering, but the anger and hope mingled inside me. I was alone, yes. Broken, yes. But not defeated. Not yet. And as the city hummed around me, I made a silent vow. One day I would return. Not as the boy they abandoned, but as someone they couldn't ignore. Ethan Cole? You start today. I'm Mr. Thompson, a tall man said, extending a hand. His voice was firm, professional, no nonsense. I shook it, feeling the weight of the opportunity. Yes, sir. I won't disappoint you. He raised an eyebrow. I hope not. We don't have room for mistakes. I nodded, pretending calm while my stomach twisted. Understood. As I settled into my small cubicle, someone popped her head over the divider. Hey, you're the new analyst, right? I'm Olivia Hart. Hi, yes, I'm Ethan, I said, standing up. She smiled warmly and I felt a flicker of relief. You look nervous. First day jitters? She asked. Maybe a little, I admitted. Don't worry. You'll do fine. Just ask if you need help. We've all been there. Her encouragement was simple, but it struck me deeply. I hadn't had anyone believe in me like this in years. Thanks, Olivia. That means a lot. She grinned. I mean it. Come on, I'll show you where the coffee machine is. You'll need it. I laughed quietly, feeling a little human again. The day started rough. I misread a spreadsheet and Mr. Thompson's sharp voice cut across the room. Ethan, check your numbers. Yes, sir. Sorry, I muttered, cheeks burning. Pay attention, he said and walked away. I gritted my teeth. Mistakes weren't new to me, but I wasn't used to public correction. Still, I focused harder. I double-checked every calculation, every report. By the afternoon, Mr. Thompson called me over. Not bad, he said, scanning my work. You've got potential. Keep this up and you'll go far. I blinked. Thank you, sir. Inside, a spark ignited, proof that effort, not excuses, mattered. During lunch, Olivia nudged me. You're quiet. Always so serious? I've got a lot on my mind, I admitted. Life outside work has been complicated. She raised an eyebrow. Complicated how? I hesitated, then shrugged. Family issues. I've had to learn to stand on my own. She nodded slowly. I get it. Life can be harsh. But you're here doing the work. That's what matters. Her confidence in me was soothing. Thanks. I needed to hear that. For the next few weeks, I poured myself into work. I stayed late, double-checked reports, and learned quickly. Olivia often stayed to help, offering tips and encouragement. You're better than you think, she'd say. One evening, scrolling through social media, I saw a post from an old acquaintance. My parents were complaining publicly about finances. The humiliation stung, but a part of me couldn't help but feel satisfied. I whispered to myself, they judged me too soon. They thought I'd fail. A knock on the office glass startled me. Ethan, you still here? Olivia asked, smiling. Don't burn yourself out. I just need to finish this, I said. I can't stop now. You're going to break if you don't rest, she said softly. Even if you're strong, you need balance. I looked at her, realizing she was right. I know. I want to prove something. To them. To myself. She tilted her head, curiosity in her eyes. Prove what? That I'm not a failure. That I can succeed despite everything. And one day maybe they'll regret doubting me. Olivia's lips curved into a small smile. Just remember, revenge tastes better when it's patient. Don't burn bridges before you're ready. I nodded, appreciating her wisdom. Thanks, Olivia. I really mean it. The next morning, I presented a project to Mr. Thompson. He scanned my report, then looked up, eyes narrowed. Impressive work, Ethan. You improved your numbers accuracy by 20%. That's noticeable. I felt a surge of pride. Thank you, sir. I'll continue refining it. He nodded, giving a rare smile. Good. Keep this pace. You'll move up quickly. I walked back to my desk, heart racing. Olivia winked at me. See? Told you had potential. I chuckled quietly. Yeah, you were right. During the ride home that evening, I stared out the window. The city lights blurred, but my mind was sharp. The memory of Dad's cold stare, Mom's hesitant apologies, Emily's frightened eyes, all of it mingled with this new feeling, hope. I can do this, I muttered to myself. I can climb higher. And one day, they'll see me. They'll see what they lost. That night, I lay awake, plotting silently. Not for cruelty, not for anger, but for proof. Proof that I was more than what they believed. Proof that leaving me behind had been their first mistake. And for the first time in years, I felt like I could win. Not just in life, but in the quiet, satisfying way of karma slowly balancing itself. Ethan, got a minute? A smirk cut across Jason Reynolds' face as he leaned against my cubicle. I glanced up, trying to stay calm. Sure. What's up? He chuckled, tapping his pen on the desk. Just curious. You've been moving up fast. Everyone notices. Don't think I didn't see your little spreadsheet improvements. I forced a smile. Thanks. I'm just focused on the work. Jason's grin widened. Focused, huh? Or maybe lucky. You know, some of us actually put in the hours before the bosses notice. I've been working hard, I said evenly. I guess it's paying off. He leaned closer, lowering his voice. Watch yourself, Ethan. Not everyone likes someone new climbing the ranks so fast. People talk. People get jealous. I'm aware, I said, masking the irritation curling in my chest. But I don't plan to slow down. He snorted. We'll see how long that confidence lasts. Later, during a team meeting, I caught Jason rolling his eyes when Mr. Thompson praised my last project. My jaw tightened. I reminded myself, focus, not anger. Patience wins battles. After work, I met Olivia at the small cafe down the street. Hey, you look tired, she said, sliding into the seat across from me. Yeah, it's been a long day, I admitted. Jason's difficult. Olivia raised an eyebrow. Jason. That's him, I said, shaking my head. He's always trying to undermine me. Make small comments, spreads doubt, just irritating. She smiled faintly. Sounds like you're making an impact. People only challenge you when you're moving ahead. I chuckled, though bitterness lingered. Impact, huh? Maybe. But I can't let it get to me. Not anymore. Not after everything I've been through. She leaned forward. Exactly. Don't waste energy on jealousy. Channel it into what matters. Your skills. Your goals. Your future. I nodded. You're right. I've been saving money quietly, investing wisely. One day they'll see. My family, anyone who doubted me, they'll regret leaving me behind. Olivia's smile softened. You sound determined. Just make sure you don't lose yourself chasing revenge. I stared out the window, watching the city lights flicker. I won't. Not losing myself. But I won't forget either. That fire, they ignited it in me, and it's growing every day. The next week, I got invited to a corporate networking dinner. Mr. Thompson introduced me to influential investors and senior managers. Ethan, meet Charles Whitman, Mr. Thompson said, clapping me on the shoulder. This is someone who can open doors for you. I shook hands firmly. It's an honor to meet you, sir. Whitman nodded, appraising me with sharp eyes. I hear good things. Ambitious young man. Keep that drive. I smiled. Thank you. I won't waste the opportunity. After the event, back in the office, I found Jason leaning against the doorway. Networking, huh? Trying to charm the big fish? I'm learning, I said simply. He raised an eyebrow. Learning fast, it seems. Don't get too comfortable, Ethan. One wrong move and it all falls apart. I'll be careful, I said, holding his gaze. But inside, the determination burned stronger. His threats only fueled me. A few days later, I overheard my parents' latest posts online. Pictures of lavish vacations, new cars, parties. They looked happy, careless, flaunting wealth while I had been scraping by. I muttered under my breath, gripping my coffee cup. They have no idea. They think they won. But I'll show them what they missed. Olivia noticed my sudden tension. Everything okay? I forced a smile. Yeah, just old family stuff. Makes me appreciate how far I've come. She nodded knowingly. Good. Keep moving forward. Your past is just a reminder, not a chain. Jason didn't help. At the copier, he muttered loud enough for me to hear. He's lucky, not skilled. Just wait, it'll crumble. I turned slowly. Maybe. Or maybe I'm just prepared. He smirked. We'll see, Cole. I clenched my fists inside my pockets. We will, I whispered, barely audible. And I meant it. By the end of the week, my investments had grown, my work was recognized, and I had new contacts willing to mentor me. Each small victory strengthened me, quieted the doubts, and fanned the flames of ambition. I leaned back in my chair, thinking of Dad's smug face, Mom's hesitant disapproval, Emily's fearful gaze. They thought I was nothing, I murmured. They thought I'd fail. They couldn't have been more wrong. A quiet satisfaction settled in me. Not malicious, not loud, just deep, simmering. One day they'd see the man I was becoming. The one they abandoned, underestimated, and mocked. And Jason? He was just the first obstacle. A minor irritation in the grand scheme of things. I smiled faintly at my reflection in the window. Step by step, I whispered. One move at a time. And one day they'll regret leaving me behind. The city lights flickered as I returned home late that night, the fire inside me brighter than ever. I wasn't just surviving, I was rising. And nothing would stop me. Ethan. Congratulations, Mr. Thompson said, clapping me on the shoulder. Your promotion is official. Junior analyst to analyst. Well earned. Thank you, sir, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. Inside, my heart was racing. Finally, some recognition. Finally, proof that I could rise. Olivia appeared at my desk a moment later, grinning. I knew you could do it. Told you all those late nights would pay off. I couldn't have done it without your advice, I said. Seriously, Olivia. You kept me sane. She waved her hand. Nonsense. You did the work. I just reminded you to breathe once in a while. As I tried to focus on my new responsibilities, Jason strolled by, smirking. Promotion, huh? Don't get too comfortable, Cole. You're new to this game. I'll manage, I said evenly. I don't intend to fail. He chuckled darkly. We'll see. Not everyone survives office politics. I turned back to my reports, ignoring him, but his words lingered. I reminded myself, patience and strategy win more than anger. Later, at a company strategy session, Mr. Thompson introduced me to a group of minor investors. Ethan has shown excellent initiative and insight, he said. He'll present some proposals to you today. I swallowed hard. Thank you, sir. I'll do my best. One investor raised an eyebrow. You're new, yet you've handled these numbers confidently. Impressive. Thank you, I replied, meeting their gaze. I felt a thrill seeing their interest. This was the kind of exposure that mattered. The kind that could change everything. After the meeting, Olivia found me. You did amazing. I told you people notice hard work and talent. It feels surreal, I said. After everything I've been through, after being abandoned, I never thought I'd get here. She smiled softly. You earned it, Ethan. Don't let anyone, past or present, make you doubt that. Her words stayed with me. I had spent so long thinking of revenge, of proving my family wrong, that I sometimes forgot I was doing this for me too. Later, I discovered that Jason had been subtly trying to sabotage a report I'd worked on, changing minor numbers and leaving errors in shared spreadsheets. Jason, I said quietly, confronting him in the break room. I noticed your edits. Care to explain? He laughed. Just helping you avoid mistakes. Don't take it personally. Not helping. Sabotaging, I said firmly. If this continues, it reflects badly on you, not me. He hesitated, then shrugged. You're new. You don't know how this works yet. I'm learning fast, I said, watching him carefully. And I'll be prepared next time. Walking home that evening, I opened my phone to the news. A headline caught my eye. Local family business struggles amid financial mismanagement. I froze. My parents. My family. They were publicly struggling. Pictures showed half-empty offices, overdue bills, and stressed faces. My chest tightened, part shock, part vindication. They have no idea, I whispered under my breath. They thought I was the failure. I'm stronger than they imagined. Later, Olivia called. Hey, Ethan. You sound reflective. Everything okay? Yeah, I said, staring out the window. It's just, seeing them struggle. Makes me think about choices. About what matters. You can feel satisfaction without letting it control you, she said gently. Focus on your growth, not revenge. I know. It's hard, I admitted. Part of me wants to confront them. Another part just wants to rise above it. Maybe the best response is silence and success. That's maturity, she said softly. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone who doubted you. Just keep moving forward. I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. Her words grounded me. I realized that my triumph wasn't just about karma or revenge. It was about proving to myself that I could endure, learn, and succeed. The next morning, I reviewed my investments. Each smart move I'd made was paying off, slowly, steadily. I felt a surge of control, knowing that the future I was building was entirely mine. At the office, Jason glared at me across the room, realizing his attempts had failed. I gave him a small, calm smile. Better luck next time, I whispered under my breath. Olivia caught my eye. You're handling him well. I'm proud of you. Thanks, I said. I've learned patience is more powerful than anger. As I sat back, reviewing reports and calculating projections, a quiet satisfaction settled over me. I hadn't confronted my family yet. I hadn't gloatingly revealed my success. But I knew the seeds of karma were planted. They would see me rise and there would be no denying it. For now, though, I focused on me. On growth. On strength. On being unshakable. And I whispered to myself, this is just the beginning. Step by step, I'm building a life they'll regret ignoring. One day they'll see the man I've become. I stepped out of the sleek black car, the crisp evening air brushing against my face. The town hadn't changed much. Same streets, same small shops, but everything felt smaller now, almost fragile. A passerby glanced at me, recognition flashing in his eyes. Ethan Cole? Is that really you? I smiled faintly. It's me. He looked shocked. I didn't think, wow, you look different. Successful. Thank you, I said softly, watching him scurry away, whispers trailing behind him. I turned my attention to my old house. The windows glowed with light. Through the partially open curtains I could see them, my parents, Mom and Dad, and Emily, now older. My chest tightened, a mix of anticipation and controlled satisfaction. Dad's hair had grayed slightly, and his shoulders seemed less rigid. Mom looked tired, older than I remembered. And Emily, she was trying to smile, but her posture betrayed anxiety. I adjusted my tie and whispered under my breath, let's see how they handle this. The next day I called Dad using a new number. Robert Cole? Ethan. There was silence on the line. Then, Ethan? Is that really? Yes, Dad. I'm back, I said evenly. I wanted to see you. To talk. I don't know what to say, he stammered. We thought. Thought I'd fail? I finished for him, my voice calm. Yes, I know. But I've changed. So have you, it seems. He swallowed audibly. Come by. We should talk. It's been a long time. I agreed. I'll be there this evening. Hanging up, I allowed myself a faint smile. The shock in his voice was intoxicating, A mixture of disbelief, guilt, and curiosity. Exactly what I wanted. That evening, I walked up the familiar driveway, my polished shoes silent against the pavement. Dad opened the door, jaw tight, eyes wide. "Ethan, you look different." "I suppose I do," I said smoothly. "I've been working hard. Life has a way of teaching lessons, doesn't it?" He nodded, swallowing. I didn't expect this. I mean, you were struggling out there." I admitted. "But I learned. I grew. And now, I'm here." Mom stepped forward, voice trembling slightly. "Ethan, we're so sorry. We didn't realize, I raised a hand gently. "I'm not here for apologies. Not yet. I'm here to reconnect." Carefully. Emily peeked from behind her mother. "Ethan, is it really you?" "Yes, Emily. It's me," I said softly, catching her eyes. "You've grown. I see that." The tension in the room was thick. I could almost taste it, like electricity before a storm. I felt power, control, satisfaction, all simmering beneath the surface. Dad cleared his throat. You must be doing well. I mean, in the city?" I smiled faintly. "I've done well. Better than expected even. But I didn't come to boast. I came to talk. And observe." He blinked, uncertainty written across his face. "Observe?" "Yes. To see how the people who judged me live their lives now," I said smoothly. "And to gauge your reactions." Emily shifted nervously. "Ethan, are you angry?" I shook my head. "Not angry. Careful. I've learned the value of patience, of strategy. Anger is wasted energy. Satisfaction comes from restraint." Mom's lips pressed together. We never imagined you would." "Rise?" I asked, letting the word linger. "Yes, that seems to be the case." Dad swallowed hard, eyes darting between me and the living room. I don't know what to say. We misjudged you." "I know," I said softly. "And I've considered how to respond. But right now, I want to see your true selves. No facades. No pretending. Just honesty." A tense silence fell. The air felt thick with anticipation, their shock, disbelief, and subtle fear. I could see them calculating, wondering if I would lash out, if I would demand restitution, if I would humiliate them in public. I smiled faintly. "Relax. I'm not here to destroy. Not yet. I'm here to observe. And perhaps, subtly remind you what you lost." Emily shifted again. "Ethan, are you really okay with all this?" "I am," I said. "I've learned to channel every setback into growth. And now, I decide the pace of this game. Patience, observation, restraint. That's the advantage I hold." Dad nodded slowly. You've changed. More than I expected." "Yes," I said, letting my tone linger. "And I intend to see this through. Carefully. Methodically. Step by step." I left that evening with a polite bow, a composed smile, and their eyes still fixed on me. The psychological games had begun. From the driveway, I whispered to myself, "This is just the beginning." Every glance, every word, every subtle reaction, it all feeds me. And they don't even know it yet. I walked back to my car, the thrill of control and quiet satisfaction coursing through me. I had returned, not for revenge yet, not fully, but to assert my presence. To let them feel the power shift. To begin the countdown for their inevitable reckoning. I walked into the house with calm precision, my shoes clicking softly on the polished floor. Dad looked up, eyebrows raised. "Ethan, you're here. Again?" "Yes, Dad. I wanted to talk." "All of us," I said evenly, letting my gaze settle on him. Mom appeared behind him, timid. "Ethan. We didn't expect." "I know," I interrupted gently, though my voice carried steel. "I didn't either. But some conversations can't wait forever." Emily peeked from the hallway, eyes wide. "Ethan, you look different." "I am different, Emily," I said softly, letting the words sink in. "The boy who left this house years ago isn't here anymore. He's stronger, smarter. And I've learned what it means to be abandoned." Dad's jaw tightened. "Abandoned?" "Ethan, we didn't abandon you. We wanted what was best for you." "What was best?" I asked, voice rising just slightly. "Mocking me at dinner. Suggesting I leave. Making me feel worthless. That was your idea of best." Mom flinched, hands trembling. "Ethan, I didn't realize how much I hurt you. I'm sorry." "Sorry doesn't fix years of humiliation, Mom," I said firmly. "It doesn't erase the nights I went hungry, the cold streets, the fear of failing alone. It doesn't erase the feeling of being betrayed by the people I trusted most. Emily stepped forward cautiously. I didn't know, Ethan. I never thought. Emily, it's not your fault, I said softly. You were a child. You did what you were told. But I want you to understand something. Fear isn't protection. Silence isn't safety. And pretending everything is fine doesn't make the hurt disappear. Dad leaned back, defensive. You sound like a stranger. I barely recognize you. You've changed. I've changed because I had to, Dad, I said evenly. You left me with no other choice. You pushed me out into the world and I survived. I thrived. But don't mistake my success for forgiveness. Mom's eyes welled. Ethan, I regret how we treated you. I only wanted to protect you? I asked sharply. You call humiliation and mockery protection? I was afraid, she whispered. I didn't want to lose you. I didn't know how to help. I took a deep breath, controlling the surge of anger. Help doesn't come from tearing someone down. Help comes from belief, from support. You didn't give me that. Dad's voice shook slightly. And now you're here, to show us? To hurt us? I shook my head. Not to hurt. Not with cruelty. Revenge isn't always fire and chaos. Sometimes it's patience, strategy, and quiet power. And make no mistake, I have power now. But it's measured. It's controlled. And you feel it in your hesitation, in your fear. Emily's hands wrung nervously. I didn't mean to hurt you. I was scared. I know, I said softly, locking eyes with her. And that's why I'm showing you this way. Not through anger, not through humiliation. But through presence. Through knowing I survived, I thrived, and you all underestimated me. Mom stepped closer, voice low. Ethan, please. Can you forgive us? I hesitated, letting the weight of the years press on me. Forgiveness is a process, Mom. It's not automatic. And it's not unconditional. Right now, I want honesty. I want accountability. I want to see that you understand what you lost. Dad's arms crossed. And if we do? If we understand? Then maybe the next step is rebuilding. Carefully, I said. But don't think my presence here is about reconciliation yet. It's about asserting control over my life. Over the narrative. Over what I allow you to influence. Emily looked between us, fear and awe in her eyes. You're not angry? I smiled faintly. I am. But anger is a tool, not a leash. I use it to sharpen my focus, to remind me of what I deserve. And to guide my actions. Not to destroy. Mom's eyes filled with tears. Ethan, you've grown into someone I barely recognize. But I see you. I see the man you've become. Yes, I said, letting my voice soften slightly. And now I see you too. Every hesitation, every glance, every unspoken word. I see what fear can do to people who thought they held control. And I'm testing it. Not recklessly. Not cruelly. But strategically. Dad's face paled slightly, realization dawning. You're stronger than we imagined. I am, I said calmly. And now you understand why I left. Not because I wanted to abandon you, but because I needed to survive, to grow, to build myself. And you were not equipped to help me then. Mom whispered, voice trembling. Ethan, can you ever forgive us? I looked at her, at Emily, at Dad. Forgiveness may come. But first respect. Honesty. Understanding. And a clear recognition that I am no longer the boy you dismissed. Silence filled the room, thick and heavy, charged with emotion. I felt the power of restraint in my hands, the satisfaction of control without cruelty. Later, when I stepped outside to call Olivia, Marcus' words echoed in my mind. Control your fire, Ethan. Assert power without losing yourself. That's real strength. I whispered into the phone. I confronted them today. It was intense, but I stayed measured. I didn't lose myself. Olivia's voice was soft but firm. That's the right approach. Power is strongest when tempered by integrity. You're doing well. Marcus added later in a text, patience, strategy, emotional clarity. That's how you win without regret. I leaned against the car, staring at the house. The confrontation was only the beginning. Fear, respect, and understanding had shifted slightly in their eyes. And that, I realized, was worth more than any outburst of vengeance. I whispered to myself, step by step, carefully. The game has begun. And I control the board now. I arrived at the town's annual gala, the kind of event my family once attended with pride. The crowd buzzed with conversation, champagne glasses clinking. I moved through it quietly, observing. Dad spotted me first, his face paling. Ethan, you're here? Yes, Dad, I said smoothly. I thought it was time to see how life treats those who once treated me poorly. Mom appeared, eyes wide, lips trembling. Ethan, I didn't expect. Notice me? I asked gently. I imagine it's hard not to, given recent events. She faltered. Events? I didn't mean. I held up a hand. Not excuses, Mom. Facts. Let's leave it at that. Emily hovered near the staircase, hesitant. Ethan. I never wanted. Emily, I said softly, I know. But your silence and distance hurt. And now you see what I've become. That understanding, that realization, it's part of karma in motion. Dad muttered under his breath. This is humiliating. I smiled faintly. Perspective, Dad. You once dismissed me. Now you witness growth and control you didn't anticipate. A few acquaintances approached, whispering. Isn't that Ethan Cole? He looks successful. Yes, I said to one, shaking hands. It's been a long journey. But hard work and patience do pay off. I noticed Jason across the room, leaning against the bar, eyes narrowed. He looked uneasy. I approached him quietly. Ethan, he muttered, forcing a smile. You've done well. I have, I said, voice calm. And it seems you've realized it too. Jason swallowed hard. I didn't think anyone could. Outperform expectations? I finished for him, watching him wince. It happens. Especially when patience, strategy, and focus replace envy. He looked down, ashamed. I was jealous. I didn't respect your work ethic. I feared your potential. I know, I said softly. But acknowledging that now is better than denying it forever. It's part of growth, yours, mine, everyone's. He nodded slowly, voice barely above a whisper. You're different, stronger, calm. Patience is power, I said, letting the words linger. Use it wisely. Turning back to the crowd, I spotted townspeople whispering about Dad's recent business mishap. Did you hear? One said. Coal Industries missed a major contract. They've been struggling quietly. Dad's jaw tightened. This is unfortunate. I approached him calmly. Unfortunate, yes, but not unexpected. Decisions made without foresight, consequences are inevitable. Mom shifted uncomfortably as a group of socialites murmured about her charity scandal, mismanaged funds, bad publicity. Her eyes filled with tears. Ethan, she said quietly. I see now. Seeing isn't enough, I said. Understanding comes first. Actions follow. Emily looked away, shame flickering across her face. I didn't know. I ignored you. I regret it. I softened slightly. Regret is valid, Emily. But it's what you do next that matters. Recognition without action is meaningless. Dad groaned, rubbing his face. This is unbearable. Yes, I said softly. And yet, it is reality. You judged me, underestimated me. You left me to survive alone. And now, you witness the fruits of my perseverance. A few neighbors whispered, glancing between me and my family. I smiled subtly, keeping my composure. I wasn't gloating. I was merely present, letting time and circumstance deliver the justice that words never could. Later, Jason approached again, voice low. Ethan, I wanted to apologize. I shouldn't have tried to undermine you. I feared your success more than I realized. You acknowledged it, I said evenly. That's enough for now. Let this be a lesson. Envy corrodes character. Focus on your own path. Strategy and patience always outlast impulsive resentment. He nodded, swallowing. I understand. Thank you. The evening continued. I watched Dad fumble through conversations, trying to salvage reputation and pride. Mom's cheeks burned under whispered gossip. Emily's gaze kept flicking to me, a mixture of admiration and sorrow. I moved among acquaintances, shaking hands, discussing projects, quietly cementing my success and presence. Every glance from my family reminded me, karma had its own pace. Patience had paid off. Later, as the gala ended, I stood near the doorway, observing quietly. Dad's shoulders slumped slightly. Mom's face was pale. Emily avoided eye contact but didn't leave either. I whispered to myself, calm satisfaction in my chest. Justice doesn't need rage. It doesn't need cruelty. It needs patience, strategy, and presence. And now, the world sees it too. Jason walked past, quieter this time, humility in his eyes. You really are unstoppable. I'm not done, I said softly. But I know how to win without losing myself. Without unnecessary cruelty. And that's the ultimate strength. I left the gala, the cool night air brushing my face. Every subtle glance, every whispered conversation, every realization in my family's eyes, karma had begun moving. And I had positioned myself perfectly to watch it unfold. I sat on the balcony of my apartment, overlooking the city lights. The hum of life below felt distant, almost peaceful. Olivia appeared beside me, carrying 2 mugs of coffee. "You've been quiet," she said softly, handing me a mug. "I've been thinking," I admitted, wrapping my hands around the warm ceramic. "About everything. About how I got here." She sat down beside me. "And?" I smiled faintly. I realized something. All those years of anger, planning, waiting, my real victory isn't revenge. It's who I became through it. Olivia's eyes softened. "That's powerful, Ethan. To find strength without letting bitterness consume you." I nodded. "I still have a relationship with Mom. I forgave her today. She's timid, scared of repeating mistakes, but sincere. And I can see her trying. That matters more than any grudge." She reached for my hand. "And Dad?" "Dad remains distant," I said quietly. "He's humbled, cautious. Pride wounded. I can see him thinking carefully before every word. But I don't need to force closeness. Respect and understanding, that's enough for now." Olivia squeezed my hand. "And Emily?" I smiled faintly. "She wants guidance. She's unsure, afraid of failing. But I'm going to help her carefully. I won't repeat the mistakes of the past, but I can guide her now that I'm strong enough to be steady." "You've grown so much," she whispered. "Not just in success but emotionally. That's rare." I chuckled softly. "It's taken time. Pain, failure, betrayal, but it taught me resilience, intelligence, strategy, and moral integrity. Those aren't just tools for success, they're tools for life." Olivia leaned against me. "And love." I looked at her, warmth spreading. "Love isn't just for others. I've learned to care for myself, to protect myself, and to value the people who matter. You're proof of that. You kept me grounded, reminded me of what matters beyond ambition and pride." She smiled, brushing her fingers against mine. "And I'm proud of the man you've become. Calm, focused, strong, but still compassionate." I let out a breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding. I thought the end goal was showing my family I was right, proving them wrong, but it isn't. The end goal was me. Becoming someone who doesn't crumble under adversity, someone who can forgive without weakness, someone who finds peace and control without cruelty. She sipped her coffee quietly. "That's real power." I nodded, gazing at the streets below. I still remember the nights on the streets, the hunger, the fear. And I remember Dad mocking me, Mom hesitating, Emily oblivious. But I don't carry that anger anymore. It's like a tool I used, now set down. The fire that drove me isn't rage, it's clarity. "Clarity," she repeated softly. "It suits you." "I want them to see me succeed," I said, voice steady, "not to humble them, not to hurt them. They already know. The real victory is showing them, showing myself, that resilience, intelligence, and integrity matter more than pride and judgment." Olivia leaned against me again, quietly supportive. "And that's why you're at peace. You're not chasing revenge anymore. You've mastered yourself." I nodded, taking a long sip of coffee. "I've realized that power without control, without reflection, without morality, it's empty. But now, I feel full. I can help Emily, maintain my bond with Olivia, navigate the world without fear. I can enjoy my achievements without bitterness." She smiled. "You've earned it, Ethan." I looked at her, warmth spreading through me. "I've earned me. And that's enough." Later I called Mom. "Evelyn, I just wanted to say, I forgive you." Her voice wavered. "Ethan, thank you. I don't deserve it." "You do," I said softly. "Everyone deserves a second chance if they learn and grow. Let's start fresh. Carefully, patiently, together." "I'd like that," she whispered, tears audible. Then I called Emily. "I want to help you, guide you. Step by step. You don't have to repeat my mistakes." "Thank you, Ethan," she said, voice shaky. I'll try." "You'll do well," I said, calm and certain. "I believe in you." I didn't call Dad. Not yet. He needed to observe, reflect. Humbled pride is different from shame, and I respected that. Let him come when he's ready. I returned to Olivia, taking her hand. "We've come a long way." "Yes," she said, smiling. "And we have a long way still. Together." I leaned back, letting the city lights and quiet evening settle around me. I whispered softly. I've won not by hurting, not by showing off, not by revenge, but by becoming unshakable. That is true power. That is my victory. And finally I felt it, peace. The weight of betrayal, the fire of anger, the hunger for validation, all replaced by steady strength, clarity, and love. I looked at Olivia at the skyline and whispered again, I am enough. I am complete. I am unstoppable, but at peace. I stepped out of the car, the morning sun warming my face. The streets were alive, bustling with people, but I felt untouchable, calm, and aware. Olivia walked beside me, her hand in mine. You've changed, she said softly, glancing at me. Not just in success, but in yourself. I have, I admitted, smiling faintly. It's not about wealth anymore, not even about proving anyone wrong. It's about clarity, strength, and control over my own life. Olivia squeezed my hand. You're unstoppable, Ethan. I can see it. And it's not arrogance, it's confidence built on wisdom. I chuckled softly. I learned to channel anger, pain, and betrayal into growth instead of destruction. That's what makes me strong. Marcus appeared suddenly, leaning casually against a lamppost. Ethan. Looking good, son. I see the boy on the streets became a man no one can shake. I grinned. Thanks, Marcus. Your lessons stuck with me. Patience, strategy, resilience, they're the tools that got me here. Marcus nodded, a proud smile stretching across his face. I told you. You don't need to crush anyone to win. You just need to outlast, outthink, and outgrow the past. I watched people pass, noticing the small gestures, some recognizing me, some oblivious. I didn't need recognition. I needed peace, and I finally felt it. Olivia tilted her head, curious. Are you going to see them again? Your family? I shook my head. No, not today. Not like that. I've seen enough. They know I succeeded. They know I'm strong. I don't need to confront them. Closure isn't about proving superiority, it's about letting go. Marcus nodded approvingly. Wise. Power without obsession is freedom. Emily's voice came softly from the sidewalk. Ethan? She hesitated, then smiled faintly. I wanted to thank you. For showing me how to be patient, for guiding me, for not letting anger consume you. I smiled at her, pride and warmth in my chest. You'll do fine, Emily. Remember, strength isn't just physical or financial. It's emotional, it's integrity, it's knowing when to act and when to hold back. She nodded, inspired, her eyes reflecting hope instead of fear. I understand. I'll remember. Olivia leaned against me, voice low. You're free now, Ethan. Free of the past, free of resentment, free of fear. That's unstoppable. Yes, I said softly, looking at the city skyline. I can walk past any obstacle without needing to destroy it. I can live my life fully because nothing controls me anymore. Not betrayal, not doubt, not envy. Marcus grinned. And that, son, is true victory. You've turned pain into power, struggle into wisdom. You're untouchable because you're self-sufficient emotionally. A breeze brushed my face, carrying the sounds of the city. I felt no urge to glance back at my family's house. I knew they were aware of my presence, of my transformation. And that knowledge was enough. I didn't need a dramatic scene or confrontation to assert my triumph. Olivia touched my arm. Are you ready? I nodded. Ready for what's next. Ready for life without chains. Ready to build, love, and live without the shadows of the past dragging me down. Marcus clapped me on the shoulder. Go, Ethan. Take it all. You've earned it. You're unstoppable not because of wealth or revenge, but because of the man you've become. I smiled, the sunlight reflecting off the buildings like a halo of quiet triumph. Thank you, Marcus. I couldn't have reached this place without the lessons, without the struggle. I've learned to fight, to rise, and to let go. Olivia leaned close, whispering, and I'll be right here with you, every step. I looked at her, feeling the calm certainty of partnership, of love grounded in trust and growth. Together, I said. We walked past the familiar streets, past the coffee shop where I once sat with empty pockets, past the alleyways that had been my survival classrooms, past my old neighborhood where echoes of rejection lingered. Each step was deliberate, each breath steady, each glance forward. I felt the weight of the past lift completely, replaced by clarity, freedom, and resolve. My family, my rivals, my mistakes, all elements of my journey that shaped me but no longer bound me. I paused briefly at the edge of town, looking back just once. Not with anger, not with desire for revenge, but with quiet acknowledgement. This was the path, I whispered. And now I walk beyond it. Then I turned forward, steps steady, heart calm, eyes bright. Wealth, power, and influence were tangible, yes, but they were secondary. True unstoppable strength came from resilience, moral clarity, and emotional mastery. I walked past my family's house one final time, silent, composed, triumphant. Not with arrogance, not with malice, but with the satisfaction of someone who knows the past cannot hurt them anymore. Olivia squeezed my hand gently. "You're ready?" "Yes," I said, voice steady, smiling. "Ready for life, for love, for freedom. Ready to be unstoppable." And with that, we continued forward, the city sprawling ahead, full of opportunities, challenges, and endless possibilities. My past had shaped me, but it no longer defined me. I was free.